now we can practice switching the two.
Our study is focused on families with adolescents, and we're trying to understand how their rearing environment can lead to risk of substance use and how their rearing environment can also mitigate risk for substance use. We're kind of interested in preventing risk behaviors in adolescents, especially among adolescents that are reared in adverse environments and disadvantaged environments.
So this door will make an air sound.
Historically, behavioral sciences looked at the brain as a black box, and now we can use fMRI or neuroimaging methods to kind of get a little bit more insight on what's going on. What happened there in the black box that can explain this underlying mechanism, right? And give us shed some light on this process that they became resilient. Why are they resilient and others are not? When we use fMRI, we're able to track neurocognitive processes, including neural activity, in brain regions that are hypothesized to underlie risky decision and risk behaviors.
As we know more, we ask better questions, and the technology improvement has also helped us ask better questions. There's been a big uptick in the use of brain imaging technology that I expect will only get better. Imaging technology first started in about the 1980s, and that was when a lot of hospitals had MRI scanners. Then people figured out how to adapt the MRI machine to take functional images in a specific way that allowed us to look at what parts of the brain were active when people were engaged in different tasks. So that's called functional MRI. And the general idea is that we look at behavior and cognition and try to understand not only the behavioral aspects of it, but also the functional brain structure and functional aspects of it as well.
Still doing good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we have one more round of that game, so I'll set it up and let you know when we're ready to start.
If you put somebody in the scanner and you show them a set of faces, you see activation in a specific part in temporal cortex. If you put them in the scanner and show them scenes, then you see activation in a slightly different part of the visual cortex. And something like that is impossible to have happened without fMRI.
So the scan that we're getting now is the 3D structural scan. So this is the scan that will tell us all of those structural things, structural information about the brain, like cortical thickness and gray matter volume and things like that.
After establishing a baseline, youth in this study are asked to play a game that results in activating reward centers in the brain, which are detected in the MRI.
All right, we are all ready to go, so just remember to do your best and try to be as still as you can.
When the area of interest in the study is activated, the MRI picks up on the activation.
This is a highly metabolically active process. It needs a lot of oxygen and it needs a lot of energy. So the body has adapted to that by sending a bolus of oxygenated blood to that area of high activity. So this happens because the blood vessels expand. It increases the flow of blood to the area. And so what we're actually measuring in fMRI is that signature of oxygenated blood going to the level of high neuronal activity.
The MRI picks up on that neuronal activity by measuring it in multiple slices and a grid of cubic sections called voxels. These are combined into a composite 3D image indicating what is referred to as the blood oxygen level dependent or BOLD signal.
You can pick any point in the brain based on your beautiful structural image and see how that voxel changed in BOLD signal across the time of the experiment.
Are these all of the conditions that are available to us?
Learning how to use an MRI for research takes time, of course. But Jennifer McDowell says there are plenty of opportunities for workshops as well as online resources.
Maybe even better in some cases is to join up with a team. Science is a team sport. Neuroscience is a team sport. Human imaging is really a team sport. You need many people to get the job done.
In addition to the expertise needed to design the study, MRI technicians are needed as well as statisticians to help analyze the enormous data sets generated by the scans. At UGA, like many research universities, a bioimaging research center provides opportunities for collaborating as well as options for other ways to answer research questions.
The more ways you can look at a question, the better your answer will be. So if you look at behavior and brain imaging, then you have at least 2 levels of analysis that you can look at, and hopefully that will allow you to ask better questions the next time around.